Hey everybody! So it is the end of the year, and boy, this year has been full of film and TV and all of that, right? But since it is the last day of the year, we need to finally do our lists. Put our lists out for the best and the worst movies of the year. Now, some of these movies are that I mention in each of my lists will be based off of not just box office results, but more of also how I felt the film did with the fans, the public, and everything, and the normies, right? The normie people, the people also that they were trying to pander to as well. Now, I will have two lists. This first video will be all about the best films of the year, and I will have two honorable mentions at the end of this video, so stay tuned for those. Now, again, a lot of these on my list are not just by the box office results and how much money they made, but also how much of a profit they also made due to how their budget was. And then the honorable mentions are just two very good films that I enjoyed very much this year. One of them I just saw yesterday. So that's one of my honorable mentions, which you'll have to wait till the end of this video to find out. So let's start off my list for the best films of 2025 in my account. So let's go ahead. Number one on my list is Sinners. I thought Sinners was an incredible film this year. It also, yes, it may not have made as much in the box office as a lot of other films did, but it did make a profit. Unlike you can say a lot about some of the films I will say in the worst films of the year that lost a lot of money. Sinners was just a great cast, a great story, and I'm excited to see where they take that franchise. We know that they are working on at least one sequel, possibly even a second one. That might be like a prequel, sequel kind of story, whatever they decide to do with it. My ideas for that would be that we do get to see in the next film possibly the story of the brothers. Spoilers, if you haven't seen any of these films, by the way, I will be talking about the films. For Sinners, you meet the two brothers, and they do talk about how they were up in Chicago, dealing with the mob. And that's how they got their money and how they were able to get the booze and alcohol they stole from the mob and brought it down to the South. So I hope we get that backstory on them dealing with the Irish mob and the Italian mob that were in Chicago during the 1930s. It'd be such a great story to tell. Plus, you could also introduce a very famous mobster, Al Capone, because he was during that time period, the 30s, in Chicago and also in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee. So, again, top of my list, Sinners was a great film. Now, second, I'm pretty sure I'm going to say this wrong, but Ni Za 2? It's a Chinese film that came out this year. It destroyed the box office. It made an incredible amount of money. I never saw it, but from the reaction of a lot of people, it seems like it was a very good and well-respected movie of the year. Next film, number 3, is Sinners. Sorry, not Sinners. Weapons. Do I just go back and redo it? No, we're keeping it in. Screw it. We're doing a one take here. Weapons is my number 3, right? Weapons was a great film. Again, did not make a very high amount of money in the box office, but instead it had a great story, and it was fun. They had a lot of great actors in it as well. So yeah, that's about it for Weapons. We do know that there is a sequel coming out, but it's going to be a prequel about the aunt in the movie, about the witch. So I'm excited to see what kind of storytelling we get about the witch and where she came from and about her powers and all that stuff. Next film, number 4 on my list of top 10. Zootopia 2 has just taken over. Zootopia 2 here in the last 2 months of the year has just gone crazy. And I'm not just saying here in the States, but even over in China, it is a hit. Everyone is loving it. People are going to see it multiple times. It's making a bunch of money. Next, number 5, Lilo and Stitch. It's It's a live action remake of the original Lilo and Stitch. There's not much to say about it. It just made a lot of money in the box office, did very well for Disney. There were some small, minor details that I think they could have did a little bit better on the film, and especially with the ending, didn't really make sense, especially with the whole meaning of the film being about family and nobody being left behind, but yet she leaves to go to college. So, it is what it is. Again, though, great film. The actresses were so much fun, especially the one that played Lilo. She did an incredible job. Next, number 6, F1 the movie. I mean, what are you going to say? It's a race car movie. It was great. Made a bunch of money. There's not much more else to say. Number 7. Now, my number 7 is... I have a little bit of feelings on it because it's Avatar: Ash and Fire. Now, yes, it is doing incredible in the box office. It is breaking numbers, but I do feel like it's not its own movie. It feels more of like it's just part 2 of Way of Water. Like it's the other half of the film that we didn't get to see before, which is a little bit disappointing, I think. I would have liked to see more about the Fire Na'vi, a little bit more about their backstory, their history, and all that. Instead of just, again, talking about the whales the whole time through the film and focusing only on Spider through the whole film. And plus, it was so long, it's like, how did you not put more about the other aspects of this planet and the people, the different tribes? We could have focused more on that instead of focusing on the same plot points of the second movie. But overall, incredible film, and is making a bunch of money. Next, number 8 is The Conjuring: Last Rites. I love the Conjuring universe. I thought it was a great film. That's all I can really say about it. So yeah, number 9 on my list of top 10 is Final Destination: Bloodlines. I thought it was an incredible way to finish the franchise, also rekindle the franchise, possibly leaving it open for more Final Fantasy films, even though they, cleaned it up very well with the whole, that the beginning had to finally come to the end with the events of the Space Needle, and that Tony Todd's character was saved that night, so he was the one that was on the list of death's list. And again, very sad about his passing. I thought he looked incredible in the film, and he did an incredible job as the last Final Destination film he will be in. Number 10 on my top 10 here. Number 10 is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I love the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. I thought the first one was great. This one was fun. Was it as good as the first one? Maybe. It's kind of about the same energy, I would say. I will say I do love more of the Easter eggs from the games and the books from that franchise within this movie. You really have to pay attention to the small little details that they put into the Five Nights at Freddy's 2, because they did a great job with taking little aspects from playing the games and putting it into here with all the little Easter eggs in the background and the character names and all that. Beautiful. I know there is a third one already in the works. There is still possibly also a fourth one in the works as well, but it's not been confirmed. Now, for my honorable mentions, my first honorable mention is Jurassic World Rebirth. It did not make as much as the most recent Jurassic World movie, but it did make in the top 10 of the box office this year. It did make a lot of money and did very well in the box office. It outbeat Superman and it outbeat Fantastic Four. So, it did very well for itself. My last honorable mention is a movie I saw last night called The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney, and it was amazing. It was such a fun film. There's one way you thought the film was going to go, but then it turned itself on its head, and it's like, oh my gosh, actually, no, this is what the real story is. So they did a great job with it, and it had Sydney Sweeney in it, so can't be wrong about that, or anything bad about that. Other than that, that is about it, guys. That's my top 10 list for the year 2025. Stay tuned for top